हृदयात वाजे समथिंग, सारे जग वाटे हॅपनिंग, असते सदा मी आता ड्रीमिंग. हृदयात वाजे समथिंग, सारे जग वाटे हॅपनिंग, असते सदा मी आता ड्रीमिंग. It is always said that one should dream big, because until you do not realize your true potential. In my childhood, I had also dreamt of becoming a doctor. Yes, as a child, I was always passionate about the medical profession. My only aim in life was to become a doctor like my father and save lives. In fact, I never wanted to be a singer. How then did music become my passion? What was that one moment of realization or epiphany, as we say, which changed my life and made me who I am today? My mother always tells me an interesting memory of how I was first introduced to the world of music. I was just 1.5 years old then, playing with my Panji, my great-grandmother, Leela Sardesai, who was a renowned singer of her times, while my mother was busy with her daily riyaz. She was practicing Rag Puriya Dhanashri, and I, while playing, started imitating her. I was singing the notes of Puriya Dhanashri perfectly in pitch. My great-grandmother was ecstatic. She immediately told this to my grandmother. By the way, as luck would have it, I am born in a musical family. My grandmother Aarya Ambekar is a classical vocalist, a lyricist, writer and a composer. My grandfather Ananta Ambekar was a banker by profession but also plays good harmonium. My mother Mrs. Shruti Ambekar, who is also my guru, is a classical vocalist of Jaipur-Atrauli gharana herself and a celebrated guru. And my father Dr. Sameer Ambekar is a doctor by profession but is also a passionate tabla player. So as soon as my great-grandmother noticed my musical talent, my grandmother immediately started my music lessons. But teaching music to someone who was too little to know how to read and write was indeed a difficult task. My grandmother then came up with an ingenious method. She started drawing pictures pertaining to the lyrics of the song. For example, if she were to teach me Nach Re Mora, she would draw a moor, a peacock on one page. Then for the next line, Dhaganshi Vara Zunzilare, she would draw dhag or clouds on the other, and so on. So this is how by the time I was 3, I could sing, and I had memorized almost 25 to 30 songs. Gradually, my mother started teaching me classical music on a regular basis, and I appeared for my first music exam when I was 6. This is how you can say my musical journey started. I was too young to understand the meaning or the depth of music. So thinking of pursuing a career in music was way beyond my understanding capacities. Now, as I mentioned earlier, my father is a doctor by profession. So when I was small, I remember I used to visit hospitals with him. I would see the surgeons in their white coats and stethoscopes around their necks, and I would wish to be like them. Observing the way the doctors worked for the society was so encouraging that I gradually started developing an interest in the medical profession. And I was a pretty bright student in school. I used to love science, and I used to love studying and understanding different subjects. As a result, my academic years saw me studying hard and working towards achieving my aim of becoming a doctor and topping my school examinations, while also simultaneously learning and practicing music, appearing for music exams, participating and winning several inter-school music competitions, and occasionally recording for albums, films, and performing in small music concerts. I remember in 2007, I was in 8th standard, and I had participated in a state-level music competition for the very first time. It had 3 rounds, and all were pretty difficult. It was a tough competition, and I bagged first prize in it. The same year, I stood first in my school examinations too. That year, it was pretty hard for me to achieve laurels on both the fronts, music and studies. And it was quite stressful and exhausting too at that age, because I am the kind of person who never compromises on one thing to achieve another. I generally try to give my best and be only the best in whatever I do. So it was quite stressful, but I feel that sometimes destiny offers you hardships only to make you stronger. And I say this because immediately the following year, that is in 2008, a TV channel announced a singing reality show for kids. It was the first of its kind. Many of our relatives and family friends persuaded me to give it a try, so I decided to. And I was pretty sure I did not want to pursue a career in music. I wanted to become a doctor. So, as casually as I could, I went for the auditions. But little did I know that this would turn out to be a life-changing decision for me and would mark the beginning of a whole new chapter in my life. Because ours was the highest rated television show of the year with a record-breaking TRP. It went on for 8 long months. Often people would meet us and tell us that, you know what, even streets go silent when your show airs. It was that popular. I received unwavering support from the entire Marathi audience at that time, and endless, abundant love was showered on my music. And before I could realize what was going on in my life, I was already one of the top 5 finalists of the show. Luckily, considering my good academic records, my school had granted me permission to miss the lectures for as long as the show went on one condition, that I appear for every exam. So after my show got over and when I returned to Pune after my 8 months long stay in Mumbai, I was greeted with 2 conditions, 2 options. To either appear for my final exams, which were to start in just 18 days, or if that wasn't possible, to repeat the entire year, which came as a huge shock considering my consistent first ranks until 8th standard. So that was the time I thanked the destiny for the perfect experience as well as confidence it had given me just the earlier year of managing as well as excelling in both music and studies. So without losing any courage and of course with the support of my family, I appeared for my examinations. And on the results declaration day, I saw my name written on the board once again as the topper of the final exams. I was so happy because I was back to my old academic love with a bang, and this confidence was pretty much needed at that time because the next year was academically very significant for me. It was my 10th standard, the SSC examinations, and I had planned to dedicate as much time possible to my studies. But I was unable to because I was under a contract by the TV channel where it was mandatory for me to perform at different places in and out of Maharashtra and India. Plus this time the responsibility was even bigger because people were looking at me as a performer and not just a contestant. But fortunately by now, I had got enough practice of switching on and off between music and studies. So I used to practice as well as study daily. A bit of extra studies were done during the exams and a bit extra music was practiced before the concerts. So this is how I managed both. On one hand, I scored 94% in my SSC examinations, and on the other, I performed in about 40 shows at several places throughout the entire year. The same year marked my debut as a playback singer. Bal Gandharva was the first film I sang for, and my first title song for the serial Suhasini also released that year. All this was so overwhelming that it made it harder for me after my 10th to take a decision of whether to choose the science stream and pursue my dream medical profession and live a life I had always dreamt of, or choose arts and dedicate myself entirely to music. At this moment, probably, it was my inner voice which made me choose the musical path. There definitely was a feeling of losing something, but I was happy that I had found my ikigai, the purpose of my life. That was the moment I realized what I had been blessed with, and that I would say was actually the beginning of my musical journey, because it was after this realization that I understood what a long way I had to go, and I started taking music seriously. In 2014, my first solo music album Diva Lagu Dere Deva got released. During its recording, I got to see the studio life more closely, and I felt that as a singer, I must also know what all goes into the recording, mixing and mastering of a song. So after I completed my graduation in economics from Fergusson College, I did a 1.5 year long certificate course in sound engineering from a renowned institute in Mumbai. Often people would tell me, "Tula काय गरज आहे ह्याची?" But as they say, knowledge never goes waste. What happened is, just the earlier year due to lockdown when all the studios were shut down, I could still record and mix n number of songs professionally for albums as well as for my own YouTube channel from my home recording setup. So during my sound engineering course, one day director Satish Rajwade sir called me and offered me a film. He wanted to sign me as the lead actress for the film ती सध्या काय करते. I had absolutely no prior acting experience. Yet, I decided to give it a try because this time I was pretty sure from my past experiences that sometimes it takes a wrong turn to get you to the right place. And today I can proudly say that it was the best decision of my life. I got to explore a different art form, that is acting. I got to work with a fabulous team. I learned the importance of team efforts. And I learned to share my success. ती सध्या काय करते had a super hit box office collection. It's been 4 years now since it released, but I still get appreciative messages for my acting as well as singing. The film has 3 female songs, all of which are sung by me. And the happiest part about the film is I got to give playback to myself. Moreover, I got almost all the best debut, best playback singer, natural performance, and Face of the Year awards for the film for the year 2017. What more could anyone ask for, right? But being a singer, I felt it important to keep the learning process going. So in order to gain a deeper insight into music, I decided to appear for my Tabla Visharad exam after my film, and I decided to do my post-graduation in music. And in 2017, I completed my Tabla Visharad and secured second position in entire India. And in 2019, I completed my post-graduation in music and I was the university topper. I received 7 prizes in addition to the gold medal, but most importantly, I got to experience the multiple and diverse dimensions of music. So during my journey so far, I got to lend my voice to films like ती सध्या काय करते, बाल गंधर्व, रमा माधव, Ready Mix, and many more which are yet to release. I got to sing title songs for super hit Marathi serials like तुला पाहते रे, माझा होशील ना, आई कुठे काय करते, दिल दोस्ती दुनियादारी, जीव लगा, and many more, all of which received overwhelming response from the audience. I got to work with great music directors who enriched me and helped me grow as a singer as well as a human being. With every great personality I observed or interacted with, I learned the importance of humility. I got to learn what it meant to be true to the art, and most importantly, I learned to completely surrender myself to music. My concerts abroad taught me the importance of prioritizing responsibilities over leisure. Like once when I was in Australia, my entire team decided to visit the Melbourne Stadium. But for me, my next day's concert was so important that I had to give up visiting it. A couple of years back, I had an early morning concert at Brihan Maharashtra Mandal Convention, USA. But my flight the earlier day got delayed due to lightning. I did not get a proper sleep, and there was no way I could crib about the jet lag because I still had a responsibility to live up to the expectations of a full house audience who were eagerly waiting to listen to me and had bought tickets for my concert. So it is as they say that it is all about the journey, where success is just a byproduct. You ought to have good as well as bad experiences throughout your journey, and every experience counts. It teaches you something. So it is not that I did not have any bad experiences in my journey. Of course I did. There were incidences where people I trusted turned their backs on me. The ones I called my friends ditched me, gossiped about me, and did everything they could to distract me and demotivate me. I remember immediately after my reality show, I and my entire group, we were on a tour abroad, and on reaching there, I don't know what happened, but everyone teamed up against me. No one talked to me for all the 11 days that we were on the tour. I was so small that initially I felt left out and I cried a lot. But then one fine day I decided that I will not let my happiness depend on others. I made new friends there who I am still in contact with. So today I can surely say that my 26 years old self thanks my 15 years old self for choosing arts to pursue music, for standing strong and facing every situation that came my way, for trusting the process no matter what, and for going with the flow. Just the other day, a lady called me and thanked me because she listened to my songs for all the 14 days of a quarantine period and my music helped her heal. One of my dad's doctor friends once called him and told him that a patient during a knee replacement surgery requested him to play my songs because it made him forget his worries. Mothers often send me videos of their cute crying babies who, on listening to my songs, instantly change their expressions and start smiling. What more could a singer ask for? It was always my dream to save lives, to touch lives. And it won't be wrong if even today I say that I am on the right path to fulfill it. It is all about trusting the timings in your life and gathering the courage to take a leap of faith, to see the miracles happening,